this looks like my place. And this is the biggest joke I've heard all year, you know. And she said, well, so I'm going to go to bat for you. I'm going to go to bat for you guys on this one. And she sat there with the regional director of the Department of Ecology and the agent that had been harassing us. And she basically, after an hour, she said, okay, well, here's the bottom line. If you ever go out to their property again, it's not going to be without me being there at the same time. And they went, okay, all right, we'll back off. They backed off. I mean, it doesn't happen. That does not happen. Dealing with the DOE is like dealing with a great white. You don't get out there because, you know, if they get you to bleed, then they're going to frenzy. And that's exactly what they're like. They're like dealing with a frenzied attacking shark because they're vicious. They have no value related to human life whatsoever. It's the deer, it's the wildlife. Everything comes before a human as far as they're concerned. So they could care less. Oh, so what? You know? And so that one thing was kind of God's way of showing, yes, you stood up and I helped you. Any gift you get like that is a gift from God. And there's no doubt about it. Because you don't get rid of the DOE. Nobody I ever knew has ever gotten rid of the DOE. And so it's a very, very important message that you understand that if you want to be working against the evil that's going on, and if you want to be helping God as a Christian, working in good things, you know, and trying to better people's lives and stand up against what's wrong, He's going to help you. And that's our testament to that actual fact, you know. And so I didn't win as a county commissioner. The guy that was the president of the Cattlemen's Association, he beat me, and that was fine because I didn't win the race, but we won our farm, basically. You know, I mean, we didn't win the election, but we're still here today. We're still on the farm, and we did something that nobody else I ever have heard of has been able to do with God's help. And so it's interesting how those kind of things work. And, you know, in my research, as it's going along and I'm pulling different facts together here and there, the whole group of us is building up. We're getting braver. You know, we're taking more actions. And in 2009, I attended a city council hearing on the implementation of sustainable development. They were going to adopt it at that point. And so myself and Gloria Clark and about probably another 120 of us all showed up to this hearing. And we all get up there and we're saying, you know, you guys can't adopt this. This is a United Nations plan. This is foreign. You know, if you're going to be answering to the UN, you're no longer answering to the people. You can't have two masters here. And they had this huge, high-powered group of people working in coordination with the sustainable effort. These high-powered environmental attorneys and professors of biology and EPA officials. Everybody was there. And you get up there and you'd say this stuff, and they'd turn around and say, these people are conspiracy theorists, they're wackos, you know, everything they're saying is not true. And as my luck had it, I had all my stacks of paperwork there with me, and I had quotes from Joan Vion's book from the mayors saying, you know, we are here to bring sustainable development back to the United States. And I gave each and every one of them a copy of all of that, along with you know, multiple lists of websites right on the UN websites themselves so that they could verify and they could check it out. And I was the last speaker before the mayor got up, and good thing, because I was able to get up there, turn around to all those people and look right at those environmental attorneys and say, you know what, this is a UN program. We're not conspiracy theorists or wackos. And I laid it all out. And then the mayor had to get up there, and since she had watched me hand all these things to every council member up there, she had to admit that yes, it was a foreign program. And so all of us cheered. They had to eat crow. They had to sit there and eat crow because, here we are, the conspiracy theorists and wackos that just proved them wrong, and it was recorded. so it was. What's that?
Can we see it on YouTube?
I don't know. It's in It would be in public record. You could always look it up. That's very cool. Yeah.
Was any of the U.S. congressmen there?
No. And yeah.
Is this Perry County?
No, this is Spokane County.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
It was the city of Spokane, the mayor's sustainability action plan.
Right, and so I don't know, I thought that we were victorious at that point. I went, yes, we stood up, we all basically made the stand, we did the good thing. And after it was over, one of the city council members comes up to me, she says, Rene, we were told that whether we passed this or not, they were going to implement it regardless. And I said, holy cow, how is that legal? And she says, I don't even know. It's just that's what we were told. And sure enough, they passed it. They passed it anyway. And so it was kind of a mixed thing. We got to at least prove all the high-powered attorneys wrong and whatnot. But then again, we still lost. And it didn't really strike me as being that bad until about 2 weeks later, I found out that at that very same time, 500 cities total around the whole United States had adopted it simultaneously. And Spokane was the only city that even protested it across the whole United States. And I went, oh my gosh, that's like a coup. You get a foreign governance to spread across 500 cities in a nation, all in the same little season. That's pretty much a coup. And so, when you start to look at the fact that yes, this is the United Nations, and yes, it is foreign, and everything that they have established so far in our nation is considered infrastructure. Why would they refer to that as infrastructure unless they were conquering us? Because what did we call it when we went to Iraq? We went over there, the first thing we did was establish infrastructure, didn't we? Mm-hmm. And so here they are, they're establishing all their processes of government to sit right alongside ours, and all of theirs are based on communism and fascism. And, so I look at it and I go, yeah, so this whole deal of sustainable development is, they've got the stupid flowery descriptions. There's 342 different definitions of sustainable development. And I went, it's a good lie when they have to have that many definitions, And basically, I would tell everybody, if you want to know what sustainable development is, forget all of it. Forget all of their flowery explanations, and just remember what Tony Blair, previous British Prime Minister, said. He got up and he said, there's capitalism, there's communism, and now there's sustainable development. And so, I went, oh, right, that's a form of government. That's governance. It's an ism without the ism, so people aren't able to understand exactly what it is. And so you've got this eco-governance going on with all the different aspects of communism, as well as fascism happening. And so that's kind of where we have to look at it. We're guaranteed in the Constitution a Republican form of government. But regulation is considered fascism. Regulation on private property is considered fascism. And so just the very fact that we can be regulated on our own property is against the Constitution, right there. And, when you start talking to people about, well, this is fascism and stuff, they kind of shrink back, especially when you're talking to elected officials, because they don't understand, and they don't understand that the things that they're involved in and the things they're doing are actually parts of this, this fascist process. and they shrink back because they don't know history well enough to understand what they're even looking at. And so, you know, it's interesting that this book came about as it did, because after I ran for county commissioner, we had a newspaper over there whose owner supported me in the race.